As a way of charting the future from the current situation we are facing, I welcome all the leaders here.
President William Ruto and ODM party leader Raila Odinga announced the commencement of a 6-day multi-sectorial forum on Tuesday.
We have subsequently had consultations and we have agreed that to bring the country together for the purposes of working on the issues that are of priority to the people of Kenya, we will move ahead with the multi-sectoral forum.
I'm happy to confirm that we have had consultations, and after extensive consultations we have agreed that a dialogue is the way forward out of the crisis that we are having today in our country.
The forum, which is set to begin on Monday, July 15th, will conclude on Saturday and will foster national dialogue and seek lasting solutions to Kenya's pressing issues. President Ruto emphasized the importance of the forum, stating that it will propose the way forward for the country.
This forum will begin on Monday next week and end on Saturday next week. It will be a 6-day forum and will propose the way forward for the country.
Attendees of the fora are expected to bear their cost.
Because of restrictions of resources or limitation of resources, we've agreed that everybody else will bear their costs of coming to this meeting. But we want it to be a really very engaging conversation on the way forward, that we deal with fundamental issues that are affecting our society today.
The various stakeholders will be required to submit their representatives by Friday this week.
We want representatives from political parties, from religious groups, from the civil society, from working community, from the employers and professionals and intellectuals of our country, the youth particularly, because as I mentioned earlier on, youth actually the majority in our society today.
In the interest of making sure that we live within our means, all participants will bear their cost of attendance.
Raila further underscored the importance of the forum.
We need to begin by identifying, secondly, coming up with the solutions to these problems. So we think that this forum will work and will help us to move forward.
The president was speaking at KICC after assenting to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IBC Amendment Bill 2024.
This is the result of the consultations we've gone through this morning, and we look forward to beginning the forum on Monday next week. The various stakeholders will be required to submit their representatives by Friday this week.
The bill is one of the key implementations that are a result of the National Dialogue Committee talks.
That we now look at the whole thing. For example, we have now set up the process of nominating new commissioners.
Present were Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Attorney General Justin Muturi, among other senior state officers.
Ruto is permanently looking for ways of rigging himself into power.
However, Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has come out to weigh in on the move by Azimio leaders Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka to participate in the signing of the IEBC bill into law. The two leaders, accompanied by other Azimio leaders both from within and outside parliament, witnessed the signing of the law. In a cryptic message after the signing, Kioni said holders of power in the country guard it against anything that threatens to change the status quo. Kioni said that to achieve this, the leaders would pretend to be doing all that is necessary, including dialoguing to be in good books with the people.
Now that the president has accepted to have a discussion with our young population, with our leaders, we call upon the people of Kenya to give dialogue a chance, to give consultation a chance.
He said that once things get out of hand, the same political leaders are forced to intervene. Kioni said the intervention is what in the end saves the state from any further political crisis. Kioni said, quote, "Fellow Kenyans, if you're wondering what just happened at KICC, it's all by design. The guardians of the Kenyan state wield their power relentlessly to ensure its survival against any violent threat that could undermine its very foundation or the established order," unquote.
Ruto is permanently looking for ways of rigging himself into power.
NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua also say that the fresh dialogue calls by President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga is a trap. In a statement on Tuesday, Karua, whose remarks came shortly after the announcement, said that any dialogue can only be meaningful if all players have goodwill. She said that the players must also be guided by the best interests of the Kenyan people. She said, quote, "Dialogue can only be meaningful if the players have good faith and are guided by the best interests of the people. This is a trap, period," unquote. Her remarks come after the president and the former prime minister agreed to commence a 6-day multi-sectorial forum.
We've agreed that we give people an opportunity to be heard, to express themselves, to come out with the grievances which are actually ailing our country today, so that a lasting solution can be found.
Now, even as President Ruto and Raila Odinga called for dialogue, proposing a multi-sectorial talk with representatives appointed by the youth, civil society, religious organizations, professional bodies, business community organizations, and others, the response by Gen Z came first, saying they don't have leaders. The huge section of Kenyans accused Kenya Kwanza leadership of lack of trust, engrossed in an emerging trend of abductions, a government not in touch with the people's needs, unable to curb high cost of living, and unable to tackle unemployment. They have gone ahead to dismiss talks with President William Ruto.
Get off the streets, stay away from destruction of property, because Kenya is greater than all of us.
They added that it was wrong to dialogue with President Ruto because of massive abductions, detentions, and killing of their colleagues. Through Twitter Spaces and TikTok platforms, Kenya's youngest adults have argued that those in power should not abuse and lecture them on how to be governed. They want the leaders to understand that the voter is the boss. With a population of 18,378,493 young people, making up 33.42% of Kenya's 54,985,702 population, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Gen Z numbers alone should worry both President William Ruto and Raila Odinga in the huddle, in the hustle, and the power to achieve the multi-sectorial dialogue.
you have the capacity to lead us in that direction where there is consultation and all Kenyans are able to agree on the way forward.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Bushabe Jr.